out and went away to the region of Tyre. He entered a house and did not want anyone to know he was there. Yet he could not escape notice. And a woman whose daughter had an unclean spirit immediately heard about him, and she came and bowed down at his feet. Now the woman was a Gentile of Syrophoenician origin. She begged Jesus to cast the demon out of her daughter. He said to her, "Let the children be fed first, for it is not fair to take the children's food and throw it to the dogs." But she answered him, "Sir, even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs." Then he said to her, "For saying that, you may go. The demon has left your daughter." So she went home, found the child lying on the bed, and the demon gone. Then he returned from the region of Tyre and went by way of Sidon toward the Sea of Galilee into the region of the Decapolis. They brought him a deaf man who had an impediment in his speech, and they begged him to lay his hands on him. He took the man aside in private, away from the crowd, and put his fingers into his ears, and he spat and touched his tongue. Then looking up to heaven, he sighed and said to him, "Ephrathah," that is, "be opened." And immediately his ears were opened, his tongue was released, and he spoke plainly. Then Jesus ordered them not to tell anyone, but the more he ordered them, the more zealously they proclaimed it. They were astounded beyond measure, saying, "He has done everything well. He even makes the deaf to hear and the mute to speak." The Gospel of the Lord. You may be seated. Grace to you and peace from God our Father and our Lord and Savior Jesus the Christ. 2 years ago yesterday, September 8th, 2016, was the 50th anniversary of the premiere of Star Trek. I have been a devoted fan of the series and all of its various spin-offs, the subsequent series, movies, books, even the animated series. Part of Star Trek's appeal was its very optimistic view of the future. It assumed that for the most part, Earth was relatively peaceful, enough so that there was time and money to be spent on exploring the universe. The interracial crew implied that all races were considered and treated equally in the future, even races from other planets like Vulcan. The Prime Directive, which forbade undue influence on other cultures, echoed respect for different peoples, different cultures, and different ways of living. Unlike our own past practices and those of our predecessor, Great Britain, the Starship Enterprise's 5-year mission was one of exploration, not colonization. Our Old Testament and Psalm this morning echo similar positive views of the future, one where, according to Isaiah, the eyes of the blind shall be opened and the ears of the deaf unstopped. The lame shall leap like a deer, and the tongue of the speechless sing for joy. Waters shall break forth in the wilderness and streams in the desert. And then, according to our psalmist, that optimism is rooted in the Lord God. Happy are those whose help is in the God of Jacob, whose hope is in the Lord their God, the God who made earth and heaven, the sea and all that is in them, who keeps faith forever, who executes justice to the oppressed and gives food to the hungry. The Lord sets the prisoners free. The Lord watches over strangers. He upholds the orphan and widow. Our other readings for today, however, are not as blatantly positive. The reading from James offers a biting critique of those who show favoritism to the rich, or at least the better dressed, and questions the faith of those who do not match their good faith with good works. Given that setup, it may be surprising to see that in our gospel, Jesus himself is playing favorites, not based on what someone is wearing or their wealth, but on their nationality. You see, for the only time in all the Gospels, Jesus refuses to help someone who specifically asks for his assistance. He refuses to help the demon-possessed daughter of a Syrophoenician woman because she is a Gentile, not a Jew. Despite her pleas, Jesus compares her to a dog trying to eat food belonging to the children of Israel. By the standards set up in the reading from James, Jesus' refusal to help someone in need would make him both a sinner and someone with a dead faith. Of course, we already know that by definition, Jesus, the Son of God, the Messiah, cannot sin, and certainly would not have a dead faith. But Jesus' action in this situation are certainly troubling. Yet Mark is not the only one who tells of this event. Matthew also includes this story in his gospel. And the fact that this is such a troubling view of Jesus, and the fact that 2 of the 4 gospels include this event, make many Bible scholars all the more certain that this event really did happen. Why else would a devoted follower of Jesus make up a story like this? One that depicts Jesus in such an unflattering light, if it didn't really happen. But that still leaves us with, why? Why would Jesus behave this way? Why would he not only refuse to heal this woman's daughter, but refuse her in such a demeaning way? Calling her a dog, which was a derogatory term for a Gentile or non-Jew, and making her less than human in the process. We can never be sure of the whys, but one possibility is that Jesus was still developing as a rabbi, as a leader, even as a Messiah. That at this point he still saw his ministry as being first and foremost to the chosen people, the Israelites, the Jews. And that this is why he tells the woman, let the children be fed first. Jesus isn't saying he will never minister to the Gentiles, but that the children of Israel must come first. But the Syrophoenician woman's daughter cannot wait until Jesus is done with his ministry to the Jews and is ready to minister to the Gentiles. Her daughter needs healing now. And so the woman makes the wise and theologically compelling statement that even dogs eat the crumbs that fall from the children of Israel's table. This woman understands 2 things about Jesus' power, things that perhaps even Jesus doesn't quite understand yet. First, that even a crumb is enough for her daughter to be healed. Not unlike the hemorrhaging woman who believes that she need but touch the hem of Jesus' garment to be healed. Secondly, the Syrophoenician woman realizes that Jesus' power is more than enough for both the Jews and the Gentiles. There is no need to minister first to the Jews, as though there might not be enough of Jesus' healing power to go around otherwise. This woman convinces Jesus that he can minister to both Jew and Gentile without diluting his ministry to either group. She makes such a compelling argument that Jesus grants her request and heals her daughter immediately. Not only that, but Jesus changes how he ministers going forward. While still in the Gentile region of the Decapolis, he also heals a deaf man of both his deafness and speech impediment, as we read in the second part of our gospel. And in the next passage, which we didn't read this morning, Jesus will feed 4,000 Gentiles, not unlike the feeding of 5,000 Jews that we heard about earlier this summer. The Syrophoenician woman had a fierce and hopeful belief that Jesus could and would heal her daughter, even though she was not one of the chosen children of Israel. And her daughter was healed because of this woman's faith and determination. Belief in a positive outcome can be a very powerful thing. Isaiah and the psalmist had that same belief about the future in the Lord's hands. And we carry on that belief, that because of Jesus, because of God's gift of grace, no matter what our current problems may be, our future is indeed a positive one. Amen. I invite you to